Have you ever replayed a single embarrassing mistake from years ago in vivid detail, while a major success from last month feels hazy and forgettable? Or received glowing feedback at work only to obsess over that one minor criticism? If so, you're not alone and you're not flawed. This is your brain's negativity bias at work, a powerful psychological tendency where negative experiences, mistakes, and threats stick far more strongly than positive ones. In the realm of human psychology, the negativity bias explains why bad news dominates headlines, why criticism lingers longer than compliments, and why failures often overshadow achievements in our memory. Understanding this bias isn't just fascinating. It's a key to unlocking better mental health, stronger relationships, and a more balanced life. At its core, the negativity bias, also known as positive-negative asymmetry, is the brain's wired preference for processing, remembering, and reacting more intensely to negative information than to equally strong positive information. Psychologist Roy Baumeister and his colleagues captured this in their influential 2001 paper, "Bad is Stronger Than Good," reviewing evidence across emotions, relationships, learning, and more. They concluded that bad events have a greater psychological impact than good ones of the same intensity. Negative stimuli trigger stronger neural responses, deeper encoding in memory, and longer-lasting emotional effects. For instance, one insult can haunt someone for decades, while a dozen compliments might fade within weeks. John Cacioppo's research using brain imaging showed that negative images spark significantly more electrical activity in the cerebral cortex than positive or neutral ones. The brain simply devotes more resources to the bad to ensure it doesn't miss potential dangers. Why does this bias exist? The answer lies deep in our evolutionary history. For our ancestors on the African savanna, survival hinged on vigilance against threats, predators, poisonous plants, rival tribes, or scarce food. Missing a positive opportunity, like an extra berry bush, might mean mild disappointment, but ignoring a rustle in the bushes that signaled a lion could mean death. Those who paid extra attention to negatives were more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass on their genes. As neuropsychologist Rick Hansen famously puts it, the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Negative events activate the amygdala, the brain's alarm system, more rapidly and intensely, flooding the body with stress hormones like cortisol. These chemicals stamp the memory firmly into the hippocampus, our memory center, making it vivid and durable. Positive experiences, while activating reward circuits, rarely trigger the same urgency, so they need deliberate effort, often 10 to 20 seconds of focused savoring, to transfer into long-term storage. This evolutionary adaptation served us brilliantly in a world full of immediate physical dangers. But in today's modern environment, filled with social media, work pressures, and abstract worries, it often backfires. Our brains still treat a harsh email from a boss, a social media disagreement, or a minor rejection like a life-threatening predator. The result? We ruminate on mistakes, amplify small setbacks, and scan for threats even when life is largely safe and abundant. Studies show negative events are processed more thoroughly, influence impressions more strongly, and resist disconfirmation better than positives. In relationships, one hurtful comment can overshadow weeks of kindness. In learning, bad feedback shapes behavior more than praise. Even in decision-making, the pain of losing $100 feels roughly twice as intense as the pleasure of gaining $100, a pattern known as loss aversion tied closely to negativity bias. Let's bring this to everyday life with clear examples. Imagine seeing a presentation. 99% of the audience loves it, but one person points out a small flaw. Most people will fixate on that single criticism for days, replaying it mentally while downplaying the applause. Or consider a romantic relationship. Years of happy memories can be overshadowed by one major argument, leading to negative sentiment override, where negatives color the entire partnership. In parenting, children learn faster from warnings about dangers than from praise for good behavior. On social media, a single negative comment draws more attention and emotional energy than dozens of likes. News outlets exploit this bias relentlessly. Negative stories about conflict, crime, and disaster capture attention far better than positive ones, which is why "if it bleeds, it leads" remains a media mantra. Even in self-perception, we remember our failures like that awkward comment at a party more acutely than our daily wins. The bias extends to memory formation itself. Negative experiences create stronger, more detailed recollections because the amygdala enhances encoding of central details in emotional events. Eye-racking studies confirm we pay more attention to negative stimuli, embedding them deeper. This explains phenomena like flashbulb memories for traumas, vivid recall of where you were during a shocking event, versus fuzzier memories of joyful occasions. In impression formation, learning one bad trait about someone weighs heavier than several good ones, making bad first impressions notoriously hard to overcome. Children show this bias early too, in social referencing. They avoid objects or people faster when warned negatively, helping them navigate dangers instinctively. While the negativity bias helped our species survive, its unchecked influence in the 21st century contributes to anxiety, depression, procrastination, and strained relationships. Constant focus on mistakes erodes self-confidence and motivation. It fuels rumination, where the mind loops on what-ifs and should-haves, elevating stress hormones and impairing sleep, focus, and immune function. In extreme cases, it amplifies conditions like PTSD, where traumatic memories dominate. On a societal level, it drives polarization. People fixate on opposing views, scandals, and threats, rather than common ground or progress. Yet awareness is the first step toward balance. The bias isn't destiny. It's a default setting we can consciously override with intentional practices. So, how can you rewire your brain to remember successes more vividly and reduce the grip of mistakes? Start with self-awareness. Throughout the day, pause and notice when negativity hijacks your thoughts. Ask, am I filtering out positives? Is this thought helpful or just automatic? Challenge distortions by seeking evidence for balanced views. Mindfulness meditation proves highly effective here. It trains you to observe thoughts without judgment, reducing automatic reactivity to negatives. Even 10 minutes daily of focused breathing can strengthen prefrontal cortex control over the amygdala. A powerful counter-strategy is deliberate positive savouring, championed by Rick Hansen. When something good happens, a kind word, a small win, a beautiful moment, pause and immerse yourself in it for 10 to 30 seconds. Feel the sensations fully, the warmth in your chest, the smile on your face. This extends the window for the experience to convert into long-term memory, gradually making your brain Velcro for good. Keep a gratitude journal. Each evening, write 3 specific positives from the day, no matter how small. Research shows this boosts mood, resilience, and even physical health by shifting attention and building neural pathways for positivity. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, techniques offer structured help. Reframe mistakes as data rather than disasters. What can I learn here? Instead of I'm incompetent. Balance feedback by consciously listing positives alongside criticism. Limit exposure to negative inputs. Curate your news and social media feeds, taking low-bad diets to avoid overload. In relationships, practice positive communication. Aim for a 5-to-1 ratio of positive to negative interactions, as suggested by relationship research. When negativity arises, redirect by helping others or turning the lesson into productive action. Harness the bias constructively too. Use the sting of a mistake to fuel improvement without self-punishment. Negative emotions can motivate breaking bad habits, like visualizing health risks to quit smoking. Over time, these practices create positivity bias training. Studies indicate consistent gratitude and savouring can reduce the relative power of negatives, leading to greater life satisfaction, better sleep, lower stress, and stronger connections. In conclusion, your brain's tendency to remember mistakes better than successes is not a personal defect. It's a sophisticated survival mechanism honed over millennia, rooted in the amygdala's vigilance and evolutionary pressures, where avoiding harm trumped chasing rewards. The negativity bias, as detailed by Baumeister and others, shapes everything from daily moods to global media. Yet in our relatively safe modern world, it often creates unnecessary suffering. By understanding its roots, recognizing its patterns in real life, and actively cultivating counter habits like mindfulness, savouring, and gratitude, you can tip the scales. You won't eliminate the bias, nor should you entirely, as mild vigilance remains useful, but you can make positives stickier and negatives less dominant. Start small today. Notice one good moment and savor it fully. Over weeks and months, your brain will adapt, fostering resilience, optimism, and a richer appreciation for life's successes alongside its lessons. Your mind is powerful. With awareness, you can guide it toward balance and fulfillment.